Good afternoon. It is Thursday, October 7th. I'm Jolie Salee, and this is News OSU. With COVID cases going down, other things at OSU are also returning to normal. One thing that has returned that the Cowboys did not get to experience last year is traditional homecoming activities. I got to dive deep into the world of pomping and the return of the homecoming decks. Homecoming is a huge part of the college experience, but at Oklahoma State, it's a tradition that the Cowboy family looks forward to every year. This year, even amidst COVID-19, sorority and fraternity members are back in the pomping room, spending a massive amount of time every day rolling tissue paper up and decking floats. Despite their enthusiasm to be back, there have been many hoops to jump through this year, especially after the cancellation of last year's celebration due to COVID-19. Because of that cancellation, it's not just the freshmen''s first time learning how to pomp and weld the decks, but it's the sophomores' first time as well.
It's definitely been a learning curve that we've had to come over in here and outside. With our guys and the girls, just trying to make sure everything's pumped right, and then, when it comes to the welding and moving parts outside and stuff like that, guys didn't do it last year, so it's kind of having to reteach everything.
Sorority and fraternity members are also having to overcome setbacks due to COVID-19 outbreaks in the pomping rooms. However, that isn't discouraging them one bit.
My PC got COVID a little bit, and so we kind of had to shut down for a little bit, so that kind of made us come back here and work a lot harder.
Despite these setbacks and struggles COVID-19 has brought to the pomping rooms, homecoming director Kieran Lewis told me that members are more excited than ever to be back.
We've had some precautions that we've had to jump through as far as making sure everyone's safe and wearing masks and making sure that it's super sanitized in here, but at the same time, we've all been so excited to get back to what we love doing, and both of our pairings really love homecoming, so the fact that we all get to be in here together every day face to face and actually be able to hang out in a smaller space, it's made it so special just because we've missed doing that so much.
Oklahoma State University is also showcasing its centennial celebration this year. Despite the challenges at hand, sorority and fraternity members are stepping up to the challenge to make sure that America's greatest homecoming is as great as it's ever been. For News OSU, I'm Jolie Salee. With the 100th homecoming being right around the corner, Stillwater is expecting thousands of alumni to come into town. Homecoming is also one of the telltale signs of fall in Stillwater. Speaking of fall, those cooler temps are slowly coming into town. Here is the News OSU weather report for this weekend. The high to start off the weekend on Friday is 99 with a cool low of 66. The high on Saturday, which is the first Saturday in 2 weeks where OSU did not host a home football game, the high is a moderate 85 with a low of 72. Sunday there is expected rain with a high of 90 and a low of 66. With the temperatures getting colder, typical college sickness is setting in across campuses nationwide. The lack of a healthy diet, sleep, and self-care is the perfect recipe for sickness. Devin Schwetman identifies ways to help OSU students get medical help in Stillwater, which is more important than ever with autumn and winter looming.
Leaving home is hard. Not least of all, because Mom can't schedule your appointments for you anymore.
That, along with being broke, being afraid of a misdiagnosis, and having no idea how insurance works, keeps many students from seeking out medical care even if they really need it. This leads to slipping grades, worsened injuries and illnesses, lowered attendance, and even getting other people sick.
I do know a few friends who are uninsured.
This struggle to get help has only been exacerbated by the pandemic, where clinics and emergency departments are more full and bank accounts are more empty than normal.
If even the slightest cough comes up, snotty nose, anything like that, I'll get very nervous.
Despite the struggles the pandemic has brought us, healthcare centers are still doing their best to provide quality care to everyone.
Yes, every one of them should have some sort of assistance. If you do not have insurance, there's always grants that you can write for, scholarships you can write for, or most hospitals have a certain level percentage that they would ask you to pay.
Knowing where to go and when can also be really stressful. Is it bad enough to go to the emergency department? Should I drop by the urgent care, call my doctor, grab some Dayquil from the Walgreens? A simple way to help alleviate these issues before they begin is to talk to your guardians about your healthcare regimen.
Hey,
especially if you routinely have medical treatment.
I'm setting up an appointment.
Or take prescription medication. Work with them to find care in Stillwater and get familiar with
Hey,
your insurance,
I'm setting
especially
up an
if it's new to you.
appointment.
For News OSU, I'm Devin Schwedman.
Thank you, Devin. Speaking of sickness on college campuses, coronavirus is still a prominent issue not only at OSU but worldwide. According to Oklahoma State's University Health Services, the COVID cases have gone down this week. There are 16 total cases this week with a total of 414 tests distributed. OSU's University Health Services have now distributed 17,092 vaccines to the community. This is significantly lower than the over 400 active cases that were in Stillwater last month. COVID has added a new layer of stress to college students, while the classic stressors still remain. Speaking of, it is officially midterm season. Cramming for your exams might feel like the only option when it comes to studying. Creating strong study habits can be beneficial, with not only improving your grades, but also your time management. As Channing Nesmith tells us, planning your study time is critical to avoid cramming for exams.
Planning plays an important role whenever it comes to your academic success. Oftentimes, students struggle with finding time to study, which leads to cramming the night before an exam.
I do see students cram, especially when they're not very good at managing time.
When coming to college, students may struggle with finding time in their day to study. Between balancing classes and being away from home, it can be difficult to find a routine that works best for you.
Students, a lot of times, once they've gotten to OSU, they actually have some tools and abilities. It's just figuring out really how to focus them and how to use them kind of in a consistent way.
The Lasso Center is one on-campus resource that OSU offers to students for free of charge. Students can log into their STAR system and create an appointment with a tutor or a success coach.
Our coaches sit down with you one-on-one, and they're going to create a time management plan that's going to work for you and who you are. So the first goal is just figure out what's important to you. What are your priorities? What are you trying to keep track of? Some people just want it to be about school. Other people want to put everything in there. Their work life, all that kind of stuff, when they're going to go home and see family. But we really prioritize being as realistic as possible.
When it comes to planning out your day to find time to study, there are many ways to do so. You can buy a planner, use Google Calendar or Canvas Calendar to plan out your week accordingly. One helpful tip for studying is breaking it up.
And if you do that, say like every 20 minutes, every 25 minutes, and take 5-minute breaks, over 2 hours you will study for an hour and 40 minutes. But you wouldn't have to just sit there and just do one thing.
Although studying is necessary, it is important to recognize your feelings and how you deal with anxiety and stress.
Focus on taking care of yourself, as well as trying to learn the material.
With midterms around the corner, cramming for exams might feel like the only option. Creating strong time management skills and taking breaks in between studying are two ways that can help you improve your study habits. One great place to study is here at the Edmond Lowe Library. For News OSU, I'm Channing Nesmith.
Defense wins championships, and the Oklahoma State Cowboys are 5-0 this season for the first time since 2015, all thanks to their defense. There is a new brand of football in Stillwater, and it's built around the defense. How far can this defense take the Cowboys? Oklahoma State defensive coordinator Jim Knowles has your answer.
That's why I came here. I came here so that we can win championships, and we're going to. Our defense has risen its level of play. Our offense is doing fine. They're coming along. Great coaches, great players, and we're about to put this thing all together.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys lost the turnover battle 3-0 Saturday against Baylor. They won the game 24-14, and Dallas Haggerty will tell you how the Pokes found a way to grind out another victory from his view on the sidelines.
The 19-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys welcome the 21-ranked Baylor Bears right here in the house that Boone built.
The Cowboys are clicking on all cylinders entering this matchup. Timely play has led to the Pokes' 4-0 start for the second consecutive season and the 6th time in the Mike Gundy era. This primetime matchup between two AP Top 25 teams was all about the Cowboy veteran defense. Despite OSU's redshirt junior quarterback Spencer Sanders misfiring with 3 interceptions, the Cowboy defense limited the opposition to an 0-for-6 conversion percentage on third down on only 6 rushing yards in the first half.
Good. I don't want to jinx them. They just keep playing good. I I hope that that they can just continue on like that.
The Pokes defense limited Baylor to 99 yards of total offense in the first half. This marks the 4th straight game where OSU has limited the opposing offense to a sub-100-yard performance in a half. The Cowboy offense praises the defensive effort.
Our defense played again outstanding, and we found a way to try and complement it and win, and that's what we've done now for a long time. So.
This final stand sealed the deal for the Cowboy victory.
I think the challenge for them will get greater each week. Texas seems to be moving the ball some and scoring some points, so that'll be a good challenge for them on the road.
The Cowboys came out on top 24-14, and it was on the strength of their defense. The Cowboy defense made the Baylor Bears punt on 8 consecutive opening drives in the game. What's next for the Cowboys? They have an off week, and moving forward, they go down to Austin to face UT in a battle in the Big 12. For News OSU, I'm Dallas Haggerty.
Thanks, Dallas. Here's how Mike Gundy summed up the Baylor game.
We got away with another one. We're -3 in turnovers, and it's just extremely difficult to win a game when you're -2. -1 is not usually as big an issue percentage-wise, but to be -3 in the turnovers and still win is pretty fortunate.
Running back Jaylen Warren has been the rock of this Cowboys offense. Last week we talked about the importance of a balanced Cowboy attack. Let's see how they did against Baylor. Warren rushed for 125 yards on 36 carries against Baylor. When you add in a reception for 5 yards, Warren accounted for only 32% of OSU's total offense. While scoring 24 points is nothing to get excited about, the Cowboy offense is getting healthier and becoming more balanced. After the bye week, the Cowboys will play on the road against Texas and head to Ames to face Iowa State a week later. 2 hostile environments and 2 teams that are known for their physical defense. Both teams will likely put an extra guy in the box in order to stop the run. The extra guy in the box means more room for the Cowboys receivers against defensive coverages. The passing game is going to be a big factor in the next 2 games for the Cowboys. If they're going to win either of these games, they will need to be able to throw the ball efficiently. Nonetheless, the Oklahoma State Cowboys keep finding ways to win games, and with each win comes higher expectations for this Cowboy football team. Now let's take a look at which Big 12 teams made this week's AP poll. Oklahoma, ranked at number 6, defeated Kansas State last week 37-31. OU quarterback Spencer Rattler threw for 243 yards and 2 touchdowns and an interception. OU has won a lot of close games this year, just like the Cowboys. Texas, who falls at number 21 this week, defeated TCU 32-27. Texas relied heavily on running back Bijan Robinson, who had 35 carries for 216 yards. OU and Texas will face off in the Red River rivalry this Saturday, October 9th at 11 a.m. on ABC. Not too long ago, Chuba Hubbard was scoring touchdowns at Boone Pickens Stadium. Hubbard got his first career NFL start last Sunday for the Carolina Panthers in Dallas. Hubbard carried it for 13 times for 57 yards. Hubbard also caught 2 passes for 14 yards. Hubbard is still waiting on his first career NFL touchdown as the Panthers lost the game 36-28. Again, the Cowboys are on bye this week before heading to Austin, October 16th for a meeting with the Longhorns.
That's our time for News OSU this week. I'm Jolie Salee. Stay safe and we'll see you next week on News OSU.